What we normally do when we get ready to do our lectures, we want to invite in the ancestors to be a part of this gathering, of this lecture, which happens that our guests have a safe arrival from Dallas, Texas, here to be with us today. Happy to see those who came. You didn't have to, didn't sign in like you signed in, so we know who came by and being a part and talking a little fast. So we keep up. We've got the building for 1 year. We reserved the building for 1 year. Every third Saturday for 1 year. We'll be meeting here, probably in the classroom downstairs, depending on how big the crowd gets. And down there, we'll be teaching on many ways to reconnect our ancestors, how to get our people in balance. On the way, we was talking about how that one person can impact the whole nation. If one person can start it, one can get rebuild the fire, get the foundation going back. So today we've invited from Dallas, Texas, from the think tank there in Dallas, Texas, and Mount Table with Brother Dawa and I started that group about 16, 17, 18 years ago. We started that group there on Keys. On Keys there was called the Knesset. At that time,
You started, you brought me in.
oh, okay, he's corrected me, yes, that's right. One day I'll tell you how him and I met. But anyway, today to get the program started, I'm happy to have the youth that are here, Brother Devon Cooper. I met him online, and I got Brother Josh back in the back. He's videoing. Different one came. I'm with Brother Ashai outside, and my Petebe, that word Petebe in the Yoruba language means wife of the Babalao. And I am an initiated priest in the ancient order and sacred science of Islam. You know, everything came out of all most religions, but most so-called beliefs. We don't have a religion. We have a way of life, a belief system, and that we understand the cosmological laws. I won't teach today. I'm gonna let Brother Dawa do that, but we're gonna do that. We're gonna do. No. We didn't bring me 500 some miles. We didn't bring it 500 some miles for me to do all the time. But what I want to do an opening libation, which we do. We honor our ancestors. One thing we have not done as black people, I hate to use the word black as a colored people, as colored people, Negroes, and African Negroes in America. I knew what is African/Negroes in our homeland. They took from us, not name America. Okay, it was called the land of Gia. When we was here, when we owned it, we didn't take ownership. We know it called Gia. That's G-A-I-A. G-A-G-I-A, Gia, and the word Yah is at the end of it, which was the energy that permeated all things. You might hear this talk about me because our folks don't get off into the metaphysics of this. We came out of a place called Pangaea. Pangaea ruled the whole earth. We are over 2.5 billion years in existence and beyond. My best calculation was 2.5 billion. I'm still traveling back. I hear the thing of the day said 4.5. I'll bring it around and talk again. The more I talk to the ancestors, the deeper they carry me back to our origin. And I was showing my sister today, this book, Ifa, is $3,000. This book walks you all the way back to the very of breath from Odumare. Okay, don't get into that. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to invite all those ancestors, all those that have gone before, those that lost their lives, be it through the sub-Saharan desert, be it through the Atlantic slave trade, and even on this land. I'm inviting all that energy to come and be with us today here in this place as our beloved brother. Yeah, well, European slave trade, but I have an issue with that, but I go along because slave trade, okay, slave trade, the European so-called slave trade, and I'm doing a show on that starting tomorrow night. The real story behind slavery, the other side of slavery, I'll show the story tomorrow night because there are some words, key words in there that people are not listening to. And I'm going to bring those out. Dawa one time had the original letter from Abraham Lincoln speech. We'll get in that. But today,
Oh man, I got everything.
you got all that?
I got
all the speeches, yeah. So this brother, trust me, sister and brother, this young man and I go back, I think about 2000, and 1 year we took a whole year off. We took 1 year off, and we put together 4 tables, 8 feet long. You see this? We had books double stacked all the way from one end to the other, and we studied every day for 365 days, 12, 40, 16 hours a day, everything from aardvark to zebra, and we didn't miss a beat. We studied at the Knesset. So we have a long history, brother, and I do. Anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get ready to do the opening libation, and we're going to recognize and bring our ancestors. And as we do this, whatever ancestors you know that have gone on before you, think upon them. Think upon them and invite them in. Another thing we need to do as African Negroes in America, since they combine from the one color, is that we got to go back and put back up our galleries back up. A long time ago, when you went to a black home, you saw pictures of Aunt Susan, Uncle, and in the late 70s, they took them down, put them in an album, and put up Martin Luther King, JFK, and a guy, and we call him Caesar Borship, y'all call him Jesus, his name is Caesar Borship. He ain't Jesus. They put Caesar Borship up and said, these are the 3 greatest men on earth. We took the great folks off the wall, put them back, so your baby see, say, Mama, who is this? Who is this? Not who that.
Big Mama,
Papa. Big Mama. Let who Big Mama and all the people, because we kept them on the wall.
Right.
We took them off the wall and put them in nursing homes.
Yeah.
And we lost that connection. Now they quit talking to us. But they don't talk because you don't disassociate it. They picture it on the wall no more. So we got to go back and restore what? The old landmarks, the old images, so our baby can see we are a great nation and we're proud of being who we are. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe. Okay, and the word Ashe means may it be so. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to do an opening libation. I got my little pot here, my little pottery, got my water. I don't think why I brought the woman's stick. But anyway, we'll just do this. We're going to invite the ancestors in. And we always do this because no matter where you travel, they're always there with us. No matter what you do, it's always there with us. The protons, the neutrons, and all those things of that vibration is always with us. So it's going to be everywhere. Huh? They're just one vibration with where we are right now. They're not dead as the Europeans say dead. Right. They're just in another vibration. We'll get to that one day. I'm going to begin by saying, as we do it, I don't have the candle, I don't have the water, but we're going to put a libation, respect and honor to all our ancestors, whose names we know and one we do not know. What and liberate their souls in the name of Odumare.
For it's through the love,
the will and the power of Odumare that all souls are saved. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Only tutu, only tutu, Yeri tutu, Origi tutu. Tutu la raye, tutu ibeshe oshitura, ibeshe gungun, ibeshe orisha. I said, fresh house, fresh road, fresh in the mind, blessings and peace for my ancestors. I recognize issue, God, issue is the keeper of the crossroads. He's the guardian of faith. If you don't recognize him, he can block your way. But once you open the way is clear. Then I recognize the Orishas. Now, most people call the Orishas angels. We don't call them angels, because the angels could be anything. But the spirit that travel with us are called what? Orishas. From the word Ori, head, okay? Orisha, and they show us what? The way. I love it because when CK told John Alex, so whenever the Mende tribe's in trouble and we need help, we call on our ancestors who go where? Before time, and we bring them where? Into us. So we invoke today our ancestors to be with us here at this meeting. Ashe, 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 Ashe. At this time, I'm going to present to some and introduce to others, Brother Zakayah, Dawa Zakayah, nicknamed Brother Meatball. Amen. Amen. Excuse the French, call him Reverend Whip-Ass. At this time, Brother Dawa. Here you go.
That sciatic nerve for making that long drive is
We have water if you want to need water.
whooping my maximum glucose. Sister Cole told me, watch your mouth, so I have to watch my mouth because I have to watch my mouth because what comes up, it comes out. But Cole and I started a long time ago on this journey. I guess my journey started about 3 years old when I started learning how to read. And I come from very strange family. On my father's side was the Crow Nation. On my mama's side was the Cherokee, but my mama was a half-breed. And her grandfather was a Jew, which was my great-grandfather. He was a Ashkenazi Jew. On my daddy's side, great-great-grandpa was a full-blood Crow, but he was a Sephardic Jew. So this is what I was raised with. Both of them was with me until I graduated. Great-great-grandfather was born in 1840 and died in 1960 when I'm a freshman in high school. My grandfather on mama's side died when I was a senior in high school in 1964. I don't know his age. I needed to ask mama his age, but I counted with him. So I learned about Judaism from him. Didn't know what he was talking about. Just like I sure enough didn't know what great-great-grandpa was talking about. But for some reason, when I got 50 years old, I remembered everything they said. And I guess that I remembered because they sent a message from my ass to my, from my to my brain. See, they did, the way I was raised, probably most everybody was raised the same way that's my age. You didn't wear a hearing aid, they only told you something once to do it. And everybody got a piece of you. When you went to school, the teachers got a piece of you. And in my case, my grandmother on daddy's side, when I was born, daddy was in the Navy, mama was in college. So to keep the peace in the family, I spent 1 week with daddy's folks, 1 week with mama's folks, from 7 days old till I graduated from high school. I wasn't raised by mama and daddy at home. But if I messed up, if I got a whooping, this is when I'm coming up, and it was just bad, big road. If I got a whooping on Wednesday from one grandmother, and that next Wednesday, they wait that Monday, that Tuesday, that Wednesday, when that Wednesday came around, they would say, well, I heard that Miss Lola told me that you was acting up and she had to beat you. And I didn't train you the other way. Now, I heard this conversation before, and I got a beat from them, and then I got another beat now. So I was trained another way to do this and that. School was the same way. My daddy was known. All they would have to tell me, do you want us to call your daddy? I said, no, you whoop me. you whoop me. And once upon a time, I never will forget when I was in the 7th grade, you know, we had to sleep with the books on the level. I leave my books in school. Because I was smart, I knew the stuff, and I get my homework quick, and my girlfriend, I copied her homework off her. I had a thing going on. To Pamela, my sister, forgot her lunch money, and Daddy came over to the school. And he came in Mr. Merle Bowles' room. We laugh about this. We'll laugh about it next month when I go to class with him. And Daddy say, Miss Merle Bowles, I don't like this new rule y'all got that Junior said y'all got a new rule that you leave your books in school. The girl say, no, that ain't no rule.
That's his rule.
She say, they leave it, they book. If he did, that ain't my rule. Daddy said, oh. Oh. So you lied. So next door was Harvey King, who's a great friend of my mama's, of the family. And he was the assistant principal. Daddy said, come on over here and Harvey. And see, they could hear me from the next room. Because Daddy made me bend over, catch my ankles. He used to tell you to assume the position. And he gave me 100 licks that day for lying. You know, and I never will forget that. But this is the way I was raised. And this is the way, when we learned how to read, we read a paragraph, we had to explain the paragraph, and then we had to say the most important word in the paragraph. We had to tell the teachers that. I had to tell my mama and them, and Big Mama and them, that when they would quiz me, because they helped me with my homework at night, which most parents don't do anymore because they can't. They're not qualified to do it. And these was people that couldn't, you would dub them ignorant because they couldn't, some of them could just barely read and stuff. Like great-great-grandpa, he couldn't read or write, but he was a carpenter, and he'd be at the grocery store with them old machines, the ad machines, you know, that had the punch like that. Grandpa had the correct change. He could count that fast. He could add, subtract, and multiply, and divide. He was a carpenter. You couldn't beat it. Geometry, algebra. How did he know this and he couldn't read and write? But every time you see him, he had a whole lot of pins on it. My grandmother said, "Look at that book." And then she would tell me, she said, "You know why I stand behind Big Daddy when he talking to white folks and walk behind, you know, the women used to walk behind." She said, "You think he's so great and stuff? Oh no, he's not that great." She said, "I be whispering in his ear to tell him what to tell the white man to make him look good." When they would do business, and they would. I would notice, and I started noticing this. And most of the black women in town, because the men that was in the 50s, most of them couldn't, they was illiterate, they couldn't read. But they had special skills of architect, welding, and all of this, a builder. They was builders. And we are not that anymore. And so, the way that knowledge got lost, me and Cole tell anybody, don't believe nothing that we say. I ain't trying to make a believer out of nobody. We don't believe nothing we say. Do research. What I do with young people like Frederick and the young people, I give you a formula now that I done got old. I ain't arguing with you no more, or dialoguing with you. I tell you how I study, and that's what I'm going to do today. And my school, when I started it out, because I taught sniper school and scout school in the military, and they didn't learn me nothing about how to kill a man. I learned how to kill a man at 7 years old. There was initiation. I went through many initiations coming up. My initiation started at 4 years old on certain things. At 7 years old, I had raised a goat from birth. That was my goat. Grandpa had goats. We had goats. So yeah, we lived on 2 farms. Both grandpas had farms. I had raised this goat, and that was my pet. And I noticed that Saturday, they say, Daddy invited the family that we're going to have a big barbecue. We're going to barbecue goat. So, and I'm just 7 years old, and great-great-grandpa had said, "What you love the most?" I said, "I love my goat." So this is how I learned how to kill a man. You kill a man the same way that you kill a goat that you love. They hung that goat up, and that goat was, you know how you do before you get to kill it, and they made me cut this goat's throat from ear to ear. They made me kill what I loved the most because I wasn't supposed to be loving the animal. That was the story behind it. That was the teaching behind it. You're supposed to be loving the Creator who created you. And during that time, they were calling him a he, and I found out from Big Mama it was a she. It wasn't Grandpa, it was her. That was the mother, brother, through many travels. So when you hear me speak, especially speaking knowledge, I'm only speaking what Coach just did. I'm speaking what Big Mama said and what great-great-grandpa taught me. So I'm speaking the knowledge of some people that's gone. Big Mama was 114 when she got up. The other one was 109. Great-great-grandpa was 120. I don't know how old the other one was on Mama's side. I remember vaguely my great-great-grandmother. I remember her vaguely on Daddy's side. I didn't know the one on Mama's side. But when you hear me talk, that's what I'm speaking. I'm speaking what they taught me. That's why I told Brother Bagby, Masonic order was taught during that time through word of mouth. It was nothing wrote down because it was a secret. So what I tell you is lost knowledge. In your book, the Masonic book that you need to get from Cole, you got one, right? You'll see where they call the lost word. The lost word. Necromancy is the book of dead names. The book of dead names, Cole just used a dead name. What was the original name? Before it was called Earth, before it was called this, before it was called that. What is the original? That's what necromancy deals with. This book of dead names, but it also is a book of connected dead body parts, and you ain't supposed to have heart transplant, liver transplants, and all this. And the white boy didn't learn that until they went into Equantip grade and got the book of dead out of that. And then he mastered this knowledge around about the 40s and the 50s until 2016. You can get, he make you artificial anything now, any kind of artificial limb. But he didn't know this knowledge. This white boy didn't know this knowledge, Fred. He didn't know this knowledge. He has his own knowledge that he knows that it ain't black knowledge. See, no, Druidism is not black knowledge, and that is a knowledge that you have to deal with. When you go into the Masonic Lodge, okay, this is how you look. When you're initiated, this is one of the secrets. Now, who did it look like? It looked like the hip hopper that you see, the present day hip hop. This is what everybody that belonged to the Skull and Bone have to lay in a casket. The Bush Boys is noted for that. They came out and they got Skull and Bone 1 and 2, I think, movies right now. They made 2 movies out of it. The people that wrote the Bible, this 1881 Bible, in 1881, it's a revised version Bible, the Tyndale Bible. In 1881, they had put you up under the knowledge of the 3 ruckus, Jubilee, Jubilee, and Jubilee. So by 1881, they had put you up under this knowledge from 1555. They knew from 1881, this is why the Bible, you see the Bible, it looks like, oh, it's authentic. That history, and I can look out there and what is spoken in the Bible, we live in it right now. But these people already knew that this generation that we in, and that our children, the X, Y, and millennial generation, you already going to be there because they had already, Scottish Rite Masons, that put you us up under this. They did the indigenous people the same way too. They had already did their people like that. When we go back into Angel Land, not England, but Angel Land, we'll see that they did the tribes. There used to be 12 tribes, now they only 10 tribes. They got it in the book of Daniel, 10 horns, 1 big horn. The big horn is the Catholic Church. When the Germanic race of people took on religion that Paul had given, you have to go back into history of the first ones that are these subhumans, who is mankind. They're not human beings. All Germanic race of people don't have melanin. That is mankind. They used to be human beings. But 50,000 years ago, something happened. Okay. Corey and I put out a series called When the East Meet the West, and what's in the name? Oh, yeah. When the East meet the West, all gods came from the east to the west. Masons say, how you travel from east to west? Why are you traveling from east to west? God came from the east to the west. Now, the way I do it, Brother Frederick, is when we study, I call it sniper school for one simple reason. I call it sniper school because a sniper has to take what? Deceptive intelligence. And when you have deceptive intelligence, if you're a good sniper and a good scout, what you have to do, Brother Frederick, you have to have a word called counter intelligence. So this is what we are. I remember that when I used to mess up with my daddy, he would ask me, he'd say, are you an FBI? And I said, no sir, Daddy, no sir, no sir. Well, I was safe if he asked me was I FBI, because what he had told me that I had messed up on, he had told me before. But the next time that I messed up on, it wasn't no question, it was just automatic, like a lion pouncing on you with my dad. He would say, is you FBI? That don't stand for Federal Bureau of Investigation. That stands for fat, black, and ignorant. And I was fat. He would ask me, is you FBI? Is you fat, black, and ignorant? Well, Daddy was living today. I tell him, yeah, I'm an FBI, Daddy. I'm the first black investigator. And I am that, because I have investigated what you taught me. So, deceptive intelligence and counterintelligence. The way that I found out that we can, over years of study, me and Cole found out is that the Bible is wrote up under the ecclesiastic Masons codes. Well, we done broke the codes that's in the Bible. To orders. See, a good sniper, you follow orders. You follow commandments, which is called a protocol. The book tells us at the 10th chapter of Genesis, when they're giving out the history of Ham, Shem, and Japheth, it's a key word in there that they have been divided, each nation by his tongue. That's the key word in there. So, that's the number one thing. That's the key word that hit me when I was studying. If we divide the earth into 4 hemispheres, what it is, it ain't no conversation no more of who's who and what's what. Because when we divide the earth into 4 hemispheres, the northern hemisphere, first we got to go into the 10th chapter of Genesis, where I know Conan told you it's more than one creation story in Genesis. So when you go to the 10th chapter of Genesis, you'll see the creation story after the Adamites had got killed by Ammon-Yah over there with the flood. These are the generations of Noah's children. The northern hemisphere belongs to Japheth. The southern hemisphere belongs to Ham. The eastern hemisphere belongs to Shem. Shem was Melchizedek. He lived longer than anybody. That's when Abraham talked to him down in there. But that was Shem. He later became named, took on the name of Melchizedek. Now, when we do this, we ain't got no conversation, Brother Fred. My motto is documentation beats bullshit conversation. Point blank. break it down, the Bible gave us a key, tongue. That's the most important thing. I know some people don't think the language is the most important thing.
Very much.
But let's ask ourselves a question. To make a nation of people, what is the first thing that a nation of people has to have? Not language. Signs, symbols, and numbers that make a language. Now, that's interesting. That's the first thing a nation needs. You need your signs, symbols, and numbers to get a nation. So, if we're going to have a nation of people, we got to agree upon our signs, symbols, and numbers to start a nation of people. The next thing the nation of people gets, when they get signs, symbols, and numbers, and a language, the next thing they get is a God. Who is the people's God? The next thing that the nation of people get is a government. To govern the people, to govern the God. It's a protocol. Order. Government ain't nothing but a protocol. This is what makes a nation of people. So you know the so-called African American, he ain't no nation. What is he? You know, because we got somebody else's language, somebody else's gods, and somebody else's government.
Yeah.
See, that's the first thing when we divide the earth. Now, when we do this, in the northern hemisphere, their language was click. That was what they started off. They got an African tribe that speak click.
Yeah.
In the southern hemisphere, which you call Africa now, which is the cradle of civilization, they say that's over there. See, y'all, y'all worked so beautiful after the flood. See, a plague when he divided the earth, and he divided the great waters. The western hemisphere over here is divided from the great waters from over there. Bantu is the language of the southern hemisphere. They speak Bantu. The eastern hemisphere, where Shem people was, speaks Sanskrit. And I find it simply amazing. Shem's people got the oldest religion, which is Hinduism. Now, when we look at the history, we can truly see right now, me and Cole can see Hinduism versus Yahwehism. 2016, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because all religion is Hinduism. And the biggest one is Christianity. How you know it's Hinduism? Very easy. The high priest of Christianity is called what? The Pope. Oh, no, he ain't called the Pope. Every country got a Pope. Who was at Valley? He's called the Promus Maximus. Now, that's interesting.
Okay.
Because the high priest of Mitra is what? The Promus Maximus. And the last Promus Maximus was Constantine. So the leader of the church became the Promus Maximus, and they color red. They ceremony that. Mitra is a average star of Hinduism. God, I got the book of gods here, you know. Or you can go in to study Hinduism, and the pantheon of gods, they'll tell you who Mitra is. That's what Christianity is. How you know it's Christian? What this man? The head of Christianity is the Promus Maximus. And every church pay him. And I tell you what, boy, our lifetime, and everybody here, I might be the Cole might be I might be the oldest in here, because I'm 70, I'm older than Cole. My whole lifetime, ain't nobody called him no Promus Magnus, they called him the Pope.
That's right.
That ain't his name, that ain't his real name. Now, one thing I might like about George Bush Jr., and I got the newspaper, because it came out in the, what's that, New York Times, when the Pope wouldn't sanction the war for Baby Bush. Baby Bush is sitting in a chair, said that there's no Promus Maximus tell him what to do. And he went and got T.D. Jakes to pray for them. I'm telling you, he went and got T.D. Jakes to pray for the troops to go invade, but he didn't get the blessings from the Pope. See, ain't nobody can go to war
Not the blessing.
without the blessings of the Pope, even if you fight each other. Not the Germanic tribes of people. They had to get the blessings. They had to get permission from the Pope to declare war. Baby Bush said he didn't need no, I got the newspaper, and he put it in there, he's sitting in a chair with his leg crossed, saying he didn't need no permission from no Promus Maximus. And I said, oh, look at this boy here is telling it like it is. He said he didn't need no permission from no Promus, and he went and got T.D. Jakes to bless the troops. You all don't remember that? I ain't got no amnesia. See, I'm an old Negro, ain't got no amnesia. And I got documentation. See, documentation beat all conversation. So, when he did that, the Pope got extremely pissed off. Have you noticed this present day Pope? He is getting paid. How many visits to these countries have he made since he's been in office? And when he go to these Latin American countries, he is the first Pope in maybe 15th century that's been a what? A Jesuit. Now the Jesuit, you had to know the history of the Jesuit. Who is these people? And see, each pope, have you noticed about the popes? Each pope is a Masonic order that's ran by the mafia. Go ahead here, Pope Clement, Pope Benedict, Pope this. These are sectors. That ain't his real name. That's a name that they give to him.
Right.
See, so we know this, but how many people know this? This is when you do some deep study. It's always been Hinduism versus Yahwehism. And right now, that's what it is. All religion, I don't care what religion that you got, is ancient pagan religion. Islam, Allah, in Islam, in the language, mean God. Well, God is the name of a person, place, or thing. And Cole tell you, when we study with the 5 W's and the 1 H. Who, what, when, how, why, where it come from. In a chronological order. Chronological means 1, 2, 3, who was the first one, who was the second one, who was the third one, who was the fourth one. In a chronological order, using etymology. So when you come to me with the word God, tell me how you say God in colored folks' language. Tell me how you say God in Sanskrit and you say God in Bantu, because you can't say it. You can say deity, but you can't say God. Because anybody with melanated color did not believe in God. God, if you go look in the etymology, they can tell you some Germanic word. Finding something else very interesting from my travels and study. I'm just sharing knowledge with you of my travels and studies, you'll pick up on it because me and Cole know it's in their blood. We don't have to tell us nothing who you are. We already know who you are. We ought to talk to you one time and you see it already. You can see what we're talking about. When other folks can't your age. But that's only, it's in the blood. Everything's in the blood. You know, I know it was the blood. You know, we sung that song all the time. You know, it's all in the bloodline. So, we know that you're going to automatically pick up on what we're saying and you're going to take it further than we take it. You explain this knowledge to it. That's the reason I'm just telling you how you can come about and explain certain things, how I do it, and the old mother can't whoop on you. Because when we divide this earth like this, we separate what? The Western Hemisphere from over there. Now, we ask ourselves another question, very interesting question. When did God come to Haya country? That's what I call it over here. See, this is the last stronghold where Hinduism hadn't got into it. And if you see the indigenous people, we always, especially the Creek Nation, we sung these songs to Haya. We call Yah, the Great Spirit, Mother Yah. We separated from them. Now, we ask ourselves a question. When did the first God come from the east to the west? Now let's look. You know, we love mathematically speaking. See, everything is mathematically speaking now. For what reason, I don't know, Cole. But everything mathematically speaking. The first God came over here was in the 9th century. Leaf, Erie, the red. He bought Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, who you celebrate every week on your calendar. Wooten, Thorn, and Frigid. Frigid, Friday is the female deer. That's the first God came over here. That was in the 9th century. The number 9 what? It don't change. The second time the God came over here, was brought over here, his name was Jesus Christos. Bought in the 12th century by who? The Spaniards. In 1500, the Anglo-Saxons brought a God over here named Jesus Christ. Now, let's go back to Jesus Christus and Jesus Christ. I find this simply amazing because is that the church is looking for the Antichrist. And he already been here and gone. Because the Roman Catholic Church said that when 12th century, when they had the Spanish Inquisition, that when the Spaniards broke away and named Jesus Christo, they was the Antichrist. When they said that, that's the first Antichrist. When they broke away from the church and said his name was Jesus Christ, the Catholic Church said that these Anglo-Saxons was the Antichrist. Antichrist means against Christ. Krishna, Jesus Krishna, is Krishna. The word Krishna is Shiva's son. If you go back into Hinduism, the Trinity in Hinduism is who? Burma, Siva, Krishna. Krishna is the son. I got the book here. I mean, all we have to do is study the knowledge. The name of the God of Christianity is Jesus Christ. That's his name. Not Jesus Christo or Jesus Christ. It's a new religion. They done got whacked around. This is where you can see it done got revised and put in another version. And when you ask the Christian over here, what kind of Christianity is in the Western Hemisphere, it is called angelic, gospel, Christian, Episcopal teaching. Those 4 words, angelic, gospel, Christian, Episcopal teaching. Now, you catch this real cool. Angelic, gospel, Christian, Episcopal teaching come up under 3 different classifications. You go in the dictionary and look it up. High church, low church, broad church. But then I walked up on this, I told Cole, I said, come here, we was in the Canasta study. I walked up on a book Big Mama had, boy. I got an ancient, 5 ancient books, real old books Big Mama had that explained everything. I said, come look at this here. And then I went to the dictionary and here's the definition of each one of them in there. Now, what churches is classified as high church, low church, broad church? Well, all of your churches called that ain't evangelic, I have a problem saying that word, angelical. You broad church. If you ain't angelic, and see, everybody wants the vote of who? The angelicals. Everybody wants to get the votes. If I get the votes of the angelicals, Trump say I got it made. Hillary, they lobbying. Every candidate you see is lobbying from these people. Who are these people? The angelical Christians here. This is what, if you Methodist, Baptist, non-denominational, you call broad church doctrine. Because you are up under what is known as Revelation 2 verse 15 as the Nicolaitan doctrine. You up under the Apostle Creed, the Nicene Creed, Tertullian Creed. We just seen about, I just told about Tertullian. Tertullian was part of the beginning of the original Illuminati. See, the Illuminati ain't just got here. They go all the way back in history. But we talk about the first, he was number 2. Because the first man and him got together with the church. You had to go back in the church history with this guy, Erebus, I can't pronounce his name, E-U-R-I-B-U-S. My sister told me if you can't pronounce it. She said, I told her, I said, well, she said, don't give me that BS. My sister got all these degrees and she's one of these English teachers. I noticed you on Facebook. It's just ridiculous how you butcher words and stuff. Mama didn't teach you like that. I said, I know you did, but she said, don't tell me that lie, you ain't got no toothers. I said, when you ain't got no toothers in your head, you pronounce words funny. So I put over, you remember that Sphinx? So he had for 1 tooth. You don't remember that, the boxer? Leo Sphinx. When Clay knocked him out, he said, well, now I ain't got but 1 tooth.
1 tooth.
So, this church doctrine of the Apostle Creed is your Methodist church, your Presbyterian church, your Catholic church, and your Episcopalian church. And now this is angelic, gospel, Christian Episcopal. Now, the Episcopalian church in the 16th century, we go back in the 16th century, the Nicene Creed Church, which is the present-day Baptist Church, broke away from the Apostolic Creed Church and the Episcopal Church. For what reason? I put it like this, when you want to explain it. This is how I explain it to Nash. And you live in something that happened in the 16th century you don't know nothing about, Nash, that is right there in front of your eyes, because if you're an Apostolic Creed, you believe in all four kinds of love. See, it's four kinds of love. Eros, philo, agape, and storge.
Stonegate, that's right.
If you with the Nicene Creed said they believed that it was agape and eros. God, man, and woman. The Apostolic Creed said you can be anything that you want to be and be a Christian.
And do your thing.
The Episcopal Church in the 16th century broke away from the Jesuits. The Jesuits had them because of homosexuality. And then the Pope, the 14th century Pope, put it in. I got the documents on it. In every country could not try a Pope if they got caught like they've been getting caught with homosexuality. They ain't being tried. And they made that decree of money. You can't try him for homosexuality. That's how come they've been doing this stuff for all this long. You can't try him. They put that in they thing back in the 16th century. The biggest church in America is ran by two lesbians. That's Methodist. And Nash told me a couple of weeks ago, them lesbians came to the Baptist, that Baptist that they support, and they got this president. They've been asked him, believing that their ways is correct, that it should be that you should be able to marry whoever you want to marry, man and man, woman and woman. And he tried to put that over into Nashville's church and take it through the college teaching it. That's ludicrous. Nashville ain't gonna go, but he's the main man in there. They ain't gonna. He's very upset about that. You wonder how homosexuality got started? You and I can understand it. I know. When I was a boy in the 60s, the sisters didn't have no voice. But I got a book called My Uncle Was Gay for 85 years. Of the Million Sissy March in 93. Oh yeah, they went to Washington. I got Jesse Jackson, Senator Kennedy, and all of these senators that gave the 1 million voice. And this sissy, I bring you the book and show you the picture. Because my uncle, I got his book. He's dead now. I got all of his. He gave me all of his books. He had a wealth of books. He had a book called The Gay Blade. You need to get that book.
The Gay Blade.
Oh man, The Gay Blade. They told how they had incorporated all gays in every city. That right now, they're the richest people in America. They run Hollywood. They show they even their finances go in this book called The Gay Blade. When I was reading it, I came into it. The biggest gay organization in America is in Washington, D.C. Guess what it's called? And guess who the member is of this? And guess who ran on a motto for President of the United States? And he clearly said, oh, my wife gave me my motto. Change. The biggest gay organization in the United States is called Be Change. why you think who put Barack Obama in office? Why you think all bills been passed since he been in? I put it like this: when the White House became the Black House, it became the Rainbow House. Every president been hit since 1960 with legalizing homosexuality, but the Black House did it. When it became the Black House, because who put him in office was the gays. And all of this is coming out because Manning busted him already. Manning already done said that Barack Obama and his preacher, what's his preacher name? Because I got the tape on Manning.
Jeremiah.
You go, we got Carol brought that to the group. The tape on Manning where they it's a whole lot of junk in that first thing of Barack being gay. Some people came up dead behind it. Oh yeah. See, this church, what's the boy's name? His preacher. Them two musicians.
Jeremiah Wright.
They was having Reverend Wright, having a relationship with, came up dead because they had put a book out about Barack. They had the pictures and everything. This came out all over the internet, but it was hush and squashed. And then the Manning came out and told everything because he was assistant preacher up there in D.C. and he was mad because they didn't include him. He come out and told everything. You got to take, you go up on the internet and pull it off. His name is Reverend Manning. So you can see where that teaching of the Apostolic Creed in 2016, look at what they got now. Now, all the gods from the east to the west live in America now. America is just like, if you know Muslim history, the Kaaba. The Kaaba had 360 other gods in it.
Still here.
Muhammad came and killed out all the other gods. It's a funny thing, the chief god was a female god during Muhammad's time, but the chief god was a female god during Abraham's time, and Abraham's brother was the high priest of this god, and Abraham's daddy was the high priest on making these god images. What was the name of that god, Brother Fred? Sin. How did they get into the church? Sin is a god that you worship, and you would eat this little cake that they would fill up, and you would have babies. They know how to make a woman have babies at that time. It was a little cake. I find that one of the most evilest is secret societies in the history it's come from Shem's people, India. It's called the worship of Kali. Are you familiar with that? Look at that word, Kali. They have a little cake. They say that sugar wafer, if you eat that sugar wafer, you will be with Kali, and Kali make you kill. You need to read their history, Kali. Get that book, 15 Secret Society, Most Evil Secret Society. All of these things are handed down in history. You find all this in the present day Christian church. Every bit of this. So we at a point now where I talked to Cole last week about what you and I can see. Old Ishmael has been talking to us. Ishmael, he gone.
Yeah.
He was a Babylon, was in our class, and he taught. He was the oldest one in our class then. But he would always tell us about old spirits coming back. I could see it, but with me, when Ishmael was saying that stuff about Day and stuff, and like Day would come through some stuff. So one day, Cole was giving Day Congo lessons, and after Cole, you gave him them Congo, he said, I want to teach. And then he started telling us about where he was in Egypt. And what he was describing and telling, I know he had to sit in class, he's 5 years old. He don't listen to us in class. He done saw him all day long in class. He run me down crazy. Him and Ishmael. And guess what? This boy, they took him out of high school. He had 14 scholarships for boys. Ishmael predicted that. He's got the leading role with Walt's Disney in Orlando singing. But he used to worry us the hell out of us all day long. This boy saying, Ishmael say, leave him alone. He's going to be great one day. He's an old spirit that done come back. Now, I wasn't off into that stuff, that deep back when Ishmael was there. I was curious, but I wasn't off into E5, and that because I didn't understand it, but being with Cole, and I understand it better now, that you can see old spirits coming back to the point where Cole and Ishmael made a believer out of me. I asked myself a question. All the gods that came over here from the east to the west, on Preston Road in Dallas, they got their temples. You can't name a religion that a temple ain't on Preston Road. Buddha, Hindu, Sufi, I don't care what you can do. Just name the people. When these spirits start walking around in the X, Y, and millennium generation of people, I asked Robert Ashley, can you see them? How you recognize them? Well, you recognize them through what? Signs, symbols, and numbers. We recognize them through the signs. Everybody you see, that's the X, what brought out in 1960, it's got them signs on them. How you know? Tattoos, nose earrings, the belief of homosexuality. You have seen that old spirit reborn from a long time ago because of every religion in the Carver here. You see it walking around as we speak right now. We can go right out there in the street and we can see all of ancient east, west, and north over here. I mean, north, south, and east. Over here, done come over here. All of them spirits just come over here. And they walking around in your children. And right now, it's in the gene pool where your children is being born gay now. They ain't made gay. It's hereditary genetic traits. Once it get in the gene pool after so many generations, and it don't take 4 generations, and you're in the 18th generation, it takes 32 years to make a generation, right, wrong. That's what they told us. It doesn't take 32 years to make a generation of people, to start another generation of people. It takes 12 years. How you know that? Because the X generation is what? From 1960 to 1970. The Y generation is from 1980 to 1990. The millennium generation is from 2000 to 2012. You got the Z generation of people because a 12-year-old girl done had a baby, and that was only 4 years ago. Tell me how many 12-year-old girls in America done had a baby, and that's another generation of people being started. So that stuff that 32 years to make a generation, doing what, they say that causes Jesus with 32 years and 33. That's a lie. You can start a generation when that girl can have a child, and that's at 12. And now they're having them at 9 and 10. Oh yeah, they got 9 and 10 and 11-year-old having children. You can go and pull it up. So this is how fast this seed is being multiplied as we speak. They ain't playing, and they coming out. Baby kids, they coming out, baby. They ain't playing with you. And have you noticed something? These spirits that come back, in Cole, I broke it down. I mean, I'm looking at it, Cole, every day. And I noticed that down Luke 12, Man, Loop 12, if you ain't driving 80 miles an hour down Loop 12, you would get run over. And they having wrecks after wreck on Loop 12. It's a certain style of car that these hip hoppers drive. Y'all know, you used to know. It's a certain look. These are the ones that's creating havoc, and then you got people that kill up a bunch of people, then they kill themselves. And we ain't doing this on a small time scale either. You're doing this on a big time scale. So you can see old spirits coming back, walking like 560 as we speak right now. I mean, it's just simply amazing after you study as long as it's going on, you see this stuff walking right in front of you. So the wise man, Brother Fred, is, I tell anybody, the key to being a wise person is to know what you're looking at. And to know what you're looking at, you have to know you have to have the working knowledge of all knowledge. See, Coy and I have a working knowledge of all knowledge. You can't bring no subject to us that we don't know a little something about it. And you're going to get fooled like all our those if you don't think we don't know a whole lot about it. and I tell anybody, see, you think, I'm not a smart man. I tell the person that quick. I ain't smarter than you, I just know how to read you. And see, that's a funny thing. And see, like I told Robert Ashley, see, the sisters got a language. Just like the hip hoppers got a language, the sisters got a language. My mama taught sisters. My uncle was a sister. We didn't call them gays and all that. We call them punk sisters and faggots. I still call them that. Well, they got their own language. And like I told Robert on this show, I say, Robert, I'll be just like a sissy. I'll read you most beautifully. See, God, that's the gay's main word. Oh, I read that Miss thing most beautiful. See, I done heard this language from a kid. I done heard all them sisters, mama done talk music. One time we came home, me and Daddy came home. Dad said, boy, we got to get out of here. Your mama got a punk party going on. She was getting ready to have an opera. She had all these, mama gave her an opera every year at the college when they learned their part. And she did the 7 last words of Christ every year. That was thing. Then she did Porgy and Bess and Tar Raider. It was these are grand operas, see. I never see all these people running around talking about they divas.
Not a diva.
Go look at the word diva. A diva is a man or a woman that sung the leading part of the grand opera. Not just an opera, a grand opera. And Porgy and Bess, and most of all your black operas was grand operas back in that day and time. And that's a diva. That's what a diva is. This thing that they call a diva now, that's somebody done rewrite the word and change the meaning of the word. I learned their language. And I noticed Robert used a whole lot of their language, so I know he either was born or was around. Right.
Got a question. You got it, right at point. With all that's been said, how does this tie us back to society that the Masons and things that are working now? Where that work's coming in?
It comes all the way back
nice temple and all this
to the Masonic training, the Masonic teaching of how they genocide you up under the 3 ruffians. See, when you read in your book, they'll tell you point blank. Let me.
Good book.
See. I'm gonna let brother.
Brad, we free.
Come here, brother.
Put him to work. Put him to work.
Read this here. And I can't understand how Masons don't understand this. You talk to any black Mason now, he don't understand that. Read what that says. Read this comprehension. Read the 3 ruffians.
Okay, the 3 ruffians. Okay, the 3 ruffians. one having the least familiarity with
Speak up, speak up.
one having the least familiarity with the religions of the East cannot fail to recognize in the names of the three ruffians the names of the gods of Palestine, Phoenicia, and Egypt, which is Jah, Baal, and
You know that's Yah.
Right.
Baal, Aeon. This will be even more
Oh, right, now, that's look good. Now, you hear the monks,
Right.
that's their God. You see how it's spelled? I had to make that,
Okay.
keep on reading.
Okay, this would be even more striking to the royal arc of the Scottish Rite Mason. The symbolism of the three ruffians has been variously explained. They have been declared to represent the three greatest enemies of the individual and political liberty: king's-craft, priestcraft, and ignorance. The three conspired to destroy liberty. One attempted this by a blow at the throat, the seal of free speech, and the second attempted by a stab at the heart, the seal of freedom of conscience. The third accomplished the foul conspiracy by felling his victim dead with a blow to the brain, the seal of freedom of thought. The lesson is, suffer freedom of thought, freedom of conscience, and freedom of speech to be destroyed by the kingcraft, priestcraft, or ignorance, or by all combined, for they usually work hand in hand, and individual and political liberty is lost.
Keep on.
The Master Mason degree: no tyrant or priest can reduce this nation of ours to subjection until our people have been drowned in ignorance. The tyrants and priests have by this method sought to maintain themselves in all ages cannot be denied. The few brilliant exceptions afforded by history do not disprove the rule. It is just as certain that the same effort is going on day to day as it was ever made. Churches, and you will note we use the plural, and tyrannical kings and so-called emperors would today deliberately put bonds of ignorance on their people in order that they might more easily control them. When we speak of ignorance, we do not mean mere want of knowledge. We refer also to the mental state in which men refuse to reason, in which they refuse to recognize their own powers, in which from laziness or from fear they refuse to do that. They refuse to do what they know they can and should do. It is this enlightened knowledge and God-given power which goes with it that will alone enable liberty-loving men successfully to combat tyrants, whether they come into the guise of kings, priests, or what is?
That's part of the Illuminati.
That's a Bolshevik.
Yeah, Bolshevik.
Bolshevik. That's out of Russia, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, Russian group, Bolshevik.
Yeah. So we can see that that's your book. Cole.
Yeah, that's.
We can see that by studying the Masons and know, see, the key is when we study the knowledge that came over here, the best people to study with is the Jews.
That's right.
See, because, Gomer is the first son of who? Japheth. Gomer's first son is named Ashkenaz. You find this in the 10th chapter of Genesis. They are brothers. They used to be the biggest tribes of those people, but the Germanic race of people killed them out. They are brothers. These Jews, what you call Jews, these Sephardic, they didn't live in the Caucasus Mountains. They live with the Cushites. This is the difference between these two people. But these people wrote the history of their brothers and what happened to them 50,000 years ago when we got invaded by the Martians and they ship fell.
Nobody said reptilians.
The reptilians, and they fell in the water, came out of the reptilians, and then according to Josephus and Homer, the Greek Jew, both of them Jews, they wrote their history, starting 50,000 years ago with a Neanderthal. A Neanderthal was called a subhuman. They said they took these people down when they mixed their seed with the Martians. They dealt with telepathic. They mixed their seed with the Martians. They became what? Subhumans. Then they went from Neanderthal to I got the chart in there of each step that they went through until they became Homo erectus. So I got the chart. All you have to do, get the outline of history by H.G.
Well,
Wells.
that's it.
You got it? You had price bookstores selling them for $2 and $3 now. I paid a whole lot of money for mine. But I got mine when I was like 7 years old. I asked Daddy where white folks come from. And Daddy gave me this book. And Mama say, those are my people. I called my mama now on the phone and
She said she white.
asked her if she white. She'll tell you,
Yes,
yes,
I'm
I'm white. And she tell me that you can't deny it because your grandpa was white. I say, no, you see this here? I say, your whiteness come with your school of thoughts. I say, I got the thoughts of Daddy then. I ain't got the thoughts of your thoughts. I know your thoughts.
We got much time for question and answer, but I broke in because I want y'all to follow where we're going, because the whole thing realized that all secret societies govern their people through what? Say it, churches.
Religion.
Religion. And the two most powerful things on the planet is politics and religion. Those two things govern and control what? The masses. So once you understand how it came to be, the knowledge of it, where it's going, you know where it's headed to.
Right. You can count on
And then you can count intelligence how to work around it. That's why we developed that 367 days of study. I'm counting that out we put in. For 1 year, this man left his job. I was off of mine, and we studied tables as long as wall to wall, but books on over 1,500 books
when they start giving us unemployment for a year.
for a year. And if you have any questions, this is what I want you to know, is that we use a very unorthodox way of delivering it, but if you listen to the gist of it, we tell you where you're going. And the church, which is a creation of that secret society, comes from the word kirk, which means arena what? Where fools perform.
A circle.
It means a circus. The word church, from the French word kirk, means a arena where fools perform.
It's a circle.
Okay? Christianity, from the word Cretan, means a fool. So if you're a Christian in a church, that means you're in the arena where fools perform.
Right.
And in the Masonic order, the certain degree is what? Substitute knowledge.
That's what I call it.
You don't have all the knowledge, substitute. And we go back, as we were saying, I'm about one of the few that traveled back as far as I go back. 2.5 billion, 4 billion years of study. 50,000 years, you're playing with Quetzalcoatl. Who in the hell is Quetzalcoatl? That's who Eve allegedly met in the garden. The reptilian, the serpent, his name is Quetzalcoatl. Okay? Reptilian face, as a snake, feathers, left there and went down into South America and met with a guy by the name Montezuma. He was a teacher of knowledge, of wisdom, and art in agriculture. He came from Eusebius, the planet Eusebius, and arrived here. And we saw him coming.
And see, let me say.
Go ahead.
See, everybody, all the tribes over here, the Olmec,
And all that,
the Creek, and the Algonquin, who became Iroquois, and then they ain't no Algonquins no more, because the last of the Mohegans, they had mixed their seed with the French. But that whole tribe of people that was on the East Coast. The Carthaginians had traded with the Pebble people. I forgot that book. I got a book with the Pebble people that was in Washington, what we call Washington, D.C. That's how they know about the tree of knowledge and the redwood tree. But the Carthaginians had told the Olmec that anything white come over here to kill it. Did not let it go back because they was killing everybody over there.
Yeah.
We sent the message out through smoke signals and drums. Every tribe over here know it. So in the 9th century, when Lee Berry Gregg was up there, the Wampanoag,
yeah.
that tribe of people up there, they was belonged to the Algonquin. They didn't kill them. They let Lee Berry Gregg
Go back.
450 years later, here come the Crusaders, when they had got kicked out of England. And they went into Scotland, they became the Scottish. But they was the Crusaders that had gotten kicked out and they came over here. How you know that? They took Coleman back. And that's in their temple over there.
And that's,
but see, you had to know, we knew to kill it. Montezuma knew the kill. How is 15 conquistadors gonna conquer a billion? So, do you know the Olmec tribe was the biggest tribe over here? And they was the most savage tribe over here. How you gonna kill them? The Aztec and the Maya. And see, Maya, what do Maya mean in the ancient language? Maya. Amaya.
Amaya.
You see, see, Maya.
Maya.
These people knew this. We knew this, but we didn't kill it. And because we didn't kill it, we cursed. We brought a curse on us, but it was supposed to be.
In
To a certain period of time.
In Isaiah the 44th chapter, verse 7, it breaks down the fact that the word Olmec means ancient people, ancient, Olmec. They call us Olmec. So one brother means ancient people, which is older than time,
Right.
which was us, Yasharon, XI people, Yah people. Okay? And who Oldemare is, according to statute, that is Yah in this masculine form.
Right.
You got YA, masculine, and YH, feminine. And a lot of folks don't know that.
And see, how is this white boy read in Proverbs 3 verse
31?
64,
It's a 31. Probably 31. Give me a
where it says, Jah,
Yeah.
the God of heaven is named.
That's
God
684, Psalm
684.
Yeah.
J-A-H ain't he. J-A-H is feminine.
Feminine.
See, the language got feminine, not the language is at the 119 Psalms. I tell every preacher, you can't jive us about this. The language of the Bible is wrote in is at the 119 Psalms. Do you speak that language?
No.
Do you know about the 119? I say, tell me about the 100. They go in and I say, tell me what olive means. And you see that little funny looking sign over there? What
That
it
Yod, you call it that Yah?
Yeah, I
That's
said,
Yah.
what is them little fine on them 22 olive baby and them little funny looking sign, olive baby,
There are-
olive, what is them?
And we do this everywhere we go. In a book by, what's the name? The Cosmic Code. Zachariah Stitchin.
Right.
Please look at what he says in there about our language. It's based on the 22 chromosomes.
Right.
Not 23, not 20. When they're adulterated with the vowel point, they alter the vibration of the Negro or Anthony Yasharon people. We had one commission. He told us to set the record straight, put things in order for her. Gia means great mother earth. Gia is Yah, which gives us all life. The guy said that what sun is not S-O-N, it's S-U, sun. According to Malachi 4:2, it brings out his healing rays to bring the earth up that we live through. And we know it because we live what? On artificial what? Light and food while we're losing our connection.
Yeah, and see.
And that's why we get homosexuality, because that old seed, that old spirit is being reborn because our defenses is down. We can't put up our reflector shields because we're not thinking, because he said, here's in the head, and the heart, the throat, and the heart. The three weapons have already got their grip on us as people.
And it takes 450 years for them to completely genocide you. If you come over here at 1550, that's 460 years. You 10 years into total. That means that the Y, the millennium generation is to completely genocide.
This brother and I went a few years ago and we discovered that the Scottish Rice Mason had put in 52 cities key commandment stones to control, to create a vortex, or what you call it, a vortex, to interlock us in. And the commandments are written in the ancient tongue in each major city. We proved this, and it's from the ancient Lashawan Kodash. It's in granite stone, and granite carries what? Radiation. And you go and granite give you a house will give you cancer. But in the granite stone, they got our ancient language, and they keep that language alive because each language is a dramatic, is geometry in motion, and it's alive. Each letter there is alive. It has a spirit attached to it. While in Kabbalism, they tell you when you meditate on one of these alibayats, and that opens a vortex, and knowledge comes through to you. Well, we didn't worry about that. We knew that by calling upon certain letters, it caused certain things to take formation. Are you with me?
And
And that's why I brought it in, because it ain't just the G and the compass. It's more to it than just that.
Right.
Of the triangle. It's more to it than just that. Those are symbols. But what's behind it? What is the energy that permeates through that?
And see, you had to understand that G in Masonic, that stands for Gad,
Mm-hmm.
geometry, and Gomer.
Hold on.
And see, that's what that stands for.
And see, a lot of our brothers, like my brother got the ankh on, and he got the ankh on. Do you know what it really means? Do you know why you wear that?
That's male and female.
That's what they say, the balance.
Right?
You come for the balance. Well, don't the Japanese have the yin and the yang?
Yeah. Everything has to come.
The balance.
It's like my grandmother used to tell me, the third law of nature
Yeah.
is something a nigga ain't
Understood.
never had. And the third law of nature is what? The law of balance.
Balance.
The first law is vibration. The second law is the law of opposite. The third law is
This book tells you all of that. It's called the Occult Geometry, Hermetic Science, the Law of the Motion. Everybody ought to read this. Another thing we're going to look at, and I'm doing because we do this, in the Black Law Dictionary, 4th edition, that's page 719, look up free white person. You are considered free white in Black's Law Dictionary.
right.
Caucasian is not free. He's not a free white. Black's Law Dictionary. Did you not know that? Oh yeah, I trust it. I told you about it. Every black person needs a Black Law Dictionary.
Right.
Black Law Dictionary, 4th edition, will tell you that a free white is a black person, not a Caucasian. He's still in slavery. Still in the mountains, still in the, okay? Please get Black Law Dictionary. Emancipation, look it up, Black Law Dictionary. It don't mean that you were free, that means that gives it to your children. You emancipate your child, are you a child of a white man? You can't be emancipated unless that's your parent, a child. But more black boy, yeah, Mr. Jones, that nigga, he's 10 and you 40. Because the word is emancipation. Huh? Proclamation. What's a proclamation? That's a writ. That's not that mean you free. Give me my sovereign rights. You are now sovereign. Emancipating, you stepping into that white boy. You consider him your parent. Check it out. What you got there, Dawa? There it is.
These are a list of all of what the good white folks nickname you.
We're going to get ready to wrap it up. But
You need a copy. I just y'all a copy.
we're going to get ready to wrap it up. You got any questions? We have any questions? Come on. Come on. Any questions? I know your boys didn't make it. See, you know, it's our brother Frederick Green's word. What you call it? When they think they want this, they get it, find out.
Short-term enthusiast.
It's start-time enthusiasts. They think they want this, and they step us, oh, no, you're like walking on that coast. So I can't make this trip, dog.
Not today.
Not today. That means you give us what? All kind of excuses why you can't. If you're about your life and salvation, there's nothing more important than taking time out to go find out whether I missed the boat. And most of us as black people, I don't like the way black people, that's what you used to hear, so I say it. I call you African Negroes in America because the Negroes are not Hamitic people. We were never under the curse of Ham. And guess what?
Right.
Ham wasn't either, because Ham didn't exist. Ham, according to the Jewish myth and legend, or should I say in Encyclopedia Britannica, volume 10, page 191, second paragraph, that the vast repertoire of Jewish myth and legend come from the first 11 chapters of the book of Genesis. So anything from Genesis 1 to 11 is all what? Mythology. If I move Adam and Eve, there goes Islam, there goes Christianity, and there goes Judaism, because it's based on what? The Adam and Eve story. You saw Adam and Eve 4004 BC. Did I not show you the map a few weeks ago of our history, what, 200,000 years of us?
Whoa, wait a minute. Here's what you got to understand.
Uh-oh.
I asked them on the radio, October the 23rd, 4004 BC, at 9 o'clock
Precisely.
Archbishop
Urson said that the world started.
No, that Adam and Eve, Adam was born.
Wait a minute.
How come you didn't just celebrate his birthday October the 23rd. I asked that, October the 23rd, I got on
That's
radio.
it. Matter of fact, look, where you look, here, your keywords.
I asked him, how come y'all know
I
you
tried to
worship Adam's birthday?
Trust me.
He was born
We-
October the 23rd at
We
9 o'clock in
are
the
one
morning.
to take that everybody
That's 4,004 BC.
everybody
That's
attended
when
our
our
school
Bishop
in
Burns
Dallas.
was.
In Dallas, we made your first rule was to get this book by keyword study, right? Keyword study, and here we go. Miss McDonald. Miss McDonald gonna read right here. Start reading right here and go all the way down. Yes.
A popular topic of discussion is the date of creation.
Listen.
The chronology which one often finds in the marginal columns of many of the older Bibles,
Mhm.
notably in the authorized version of King James,
Mhm.
is not a part of the Bible.
Listen what it says.
Except by any means, it is the work of Archbishop Usher.
Who?
Archbishop
Now he was born in Peter. How about he know about what was Alvin? Keep going.
an illustrious prelate of the Irish Church,
Yeah. Wait, bro. Just keep going. Don't stop now.
who lived from AD 1580
He was born in 1580. What the hell about Alvin Eve when the world was born? Start. Keep reading.
to 1656.
And he died in 1656.
His
Keep going.
chronological labors were directed toward affording an idea of the time that elapsed between certain events in recorded history.
Watch this.
For this purpose, he took the year 1 AD,
Uh-huh.
the beginning of the Christian era,
Uh-huh.
as his starting point,
Okay.
and
And walk
calculated
backwards.
as far as reliable record history afforded good working around.
Keep going.
Working ground, I'm
Okay.
sorry. He reckoned as far back as 4004 BC, and then finding recorded history of finding no more available material in
See, we're
recorded
right.
history.
Now he didn't look at our map.
No more.
He stopped at 4004 BC.
Right.
And my problem is that who in the hell told you that? You were born in 1500. So we're going on what another man, what one man thought. We believed and created a map called 4004 BC map. You got it right there. And we was here 100,000 years in America. What you call America.
Right.
We was on this land 100,000 years before Alvin Eve.
And this was called
Well, and this land here, we was in this land already building mounds when this man was talking about Alvin Eve.
in our languages.
Then in the Compact Bible Dictionary, it says that Ham is the progenitor of the Canaanite, but not the Negro. Because the Negro came out of South America, out of real Negro territory. We were called Yasharon. We owned the whole planet at one time. So can't give me 4,004. So don't tell me about Islam and Christianity, because you only 4,004. I'm 5.8 billion years old, fool. Based on these five. Your 4,004 won't compare, so I don't deal with kindergarten cosmology. Don't bring me Egypt, because there was no Egypt, because the first Egypt was over here.
And I want to know Egypt. Well, I got that map.
Yeah, I know it's right. So we knew that the first Egypt was over
I
here.
just had that map.
We moved them places. Jerusalem was called Yasharon down near in the sunset, down in Argentina, in that area. So you're already at home. So why you gotta go to is it real when you're already at home? Don't tell me about being on Hebrew, because what Hebrew means immigrant. I'm at home. I gotta be immigrant in my own land.
Well, that explains why the
Talk to me, baby.
trees, they have trees in Florida, Mississippi,
Right.
that are petrified. They're only indigenous to Africa.
I got better for you. When Zacchaeus climbed up the sycamore tree, was it in the desert or was it in Mississippi? Wait. What was that? Was it in the desert over there, or was it in Mississippi? Because sycamore, they grow right here, and Mississippi got to be a marshland where water's near. You don't grow in the damn, you don't grow in the desert. I don't want to in the desert.
And the Mississippi used to run the same as the Nile.
It was called the Washita. It was called the old Washita because it went to Canada.
Right.
When we, the Nazis, had it, when they changed our name to Washita, who was Yasharon, who got the name changed to the time, been changed.
That name Washington.
Yeah, the French name of Washita means mound builders and builders of earth. We was here over billions of years. And the One of the oldest mounds right now is at a place called Poverty Point. It's called Buried Mound. Yeah, in Washington Parish. He at home. And why you gotta go to Israel? It's right here. As the cat said, hey nigga, it's right here, nigga. And it's here, nigga, it's right here. You at home right here. So why are you trying to go over there? I'm going to Israel. Go on over there and do the Edomites. Go on over there. You be like Bill Alvin, stuck in the desert. Because when you're already at home, according to this, you've been here all the time. The auspicious verse said, the world shall, and people believe that lie. Man, not survive. I brought a map of the week, brothers here, just in South Africa alone, 200,000 years of history. According to Paul Burton, over 300,000 or 400,000 years in this land. And I went back and picked up that nuclear reactor. They found 2.5 billion years old. If so, if you got a reactor that's 2.5 billion, who's running it?
How long did they live?
How long did they live running it and creating it? Yeah. When you found out about this, and you look on, it's online. Then look on the line, look at ancient Egypt in America. They're going to say the Barra Caves, down in Grand Canyon, where they found the temple of Isis over there, over here. When did they move it?
The oldest pyramids.
Oh, right over here. Go to LSU on one of our burial mounds. The school was built on why white people love it because it's built on top of black folks. Yeah. The word Baton Rouge means bloody stick. Right. And Princeton means what? Bloody stick. It was a sacrificial mound. And we got people buried on that mound. The school built on top of our people. Right at Baton Rouge. LSU. It's a plaque that says the mounds here are older than the ones pyramids in Egypt. On the northeast corner, there's a plaque says that. I can take you right down the road to Louisiana, over on 65 South, and I can show you plaques where we was already taking care of business over here before they ever showed up. It's a mound, 3 mounds, they formed a grid on 65 that's already down there that we built. You got mounds on, and they knocked a lot of mounds down to platforms on. Why the land so rich? Because they did it with our energy, our paper. They dug up or dug the berries on. Because when you move, your energy stays where you were buried.
They call them Indian mounds, though. That's what that.
The word Indian means indigenous.
Right.
According to Cornell University, Article 25 said the definition of the word Indian is anyone who's in the land before a white man showed up. Well, we was here 100,000 years, so I guess it was first us. And then the book by, well, look at me right my mouth. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, bro. I'm so sorry. Listen, according to James Ardea's book, 500 Nations, he said that the Indians came through the boundless place. They saw us. When they came through the bound and walked in, they said, wow, these majestic black folks, they must be gods. And a book called, it came from Columbus by one of my former teachers, Alvin, second chapter, the first paragraph of the opening statement, where it says, the infallible eyewitness, they saw black people, Negroic features in this land before they walked upon it. Documented facts. They discovered Black People America by Michael Bradley throughout the book. Barger the Don, the Mesa America people. Who were they? Who were they? It wasn't American Vespucci. There was people that are black, came out called what? Meso America. Which came up out of South America, came across this land. We have been lied to so bad. Hijacked, cable-toed, and blindfolded. And guess who walked around? LL Cool J tried to tell when he walked around all the time, rich leg, you don't want to have rich leg walk around. LL Cool J was trying to tell us again. You've been hijacking it. When you get in deep water, you put your pen, you get in deep water, don't you? Okay.